My beloved child, open your heart to listen before the night casts yet another heavy layer upon your soul. Every moment of your life I have watched over you. I was there when darkness wrapped itself around your spirit, when every breath grew so weary that it seemed impossible to go on. You may have tried to cloak yourself with strength to become a support for others, yet I still saw the brokenness within you. No weakness, no trembling of yours can be hidden from my eyes. I know when you collapse unseen. I know when you sit among the crowd yet feel utterly alone. You may tell yourself you are fine, but I hear every silent sigh, every suppressed cry from the depths of your soul. None of this pain has been overlooked for. I have treasured it as a precious offering before my glorious throne. And now at the appointed time I command the outpouring from heaven upon you. This is not a fleeting comfort, but a direct intervention of my power. You stand at the threshold of transformation, where sorrow will turn into a radiant testimony of restoration. I have seen enough, and I am stepping in, not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but here and now. My child, I know of the long nights you have lain awake with tear-filled eyes, wondering if anyone noticed the fading strength behind your forced smile. I know of the times you have felt lost among laughter, while your heart was bound with wounds. I have seen you bow your head when you longed for someone to listen, yet no one cared for the unstable rhythm of your heart. Others may call you weak, too sensitive, or dramatic, but I see the strength within you. I see the extraordinary effort it takes for you to rise from your bed each morning. I see the courage in every trembling step, the faith in every tear-stained prayer. You are not forgotten in the cracks of life. On the contrary, every wound, every rejection, every betrayal, every moment of confusion has been marked by me. When others turned away, as if nothing happened, I stopped to look into the fractured place of your soul. When others ignored you, I recorded the hidden cry within you that asked, "Why does no one see what I am going through?" And today, I, myself, answer, I will not only comfort you, but I will act. What was once overlooked will now be restored, what was belittled will now be honored, and what was thought forgotten will stand as proof of my justice. As the scripture declares, you have kept count of my wanderings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Psalm 5, 6, 8. See, even when the world disregards your tears, I hold them as evidence of the love and power I am about to reveal. Understand this, my child, not a single moment of your days has been meaningless. Every silent pain has been the foundation for the breakthrough that is coming. The harsh seasons of trial were never meant to crush you, but to refine your faith and endurance, shaping your soul to be stronger than ever. You walked through places of obscurity not because you were abandoned, but because I was forging within you a depth of character reserved for those who can walk through darkness while still believing in the light yet to dawn. The silence surrounding you, though you thought it was neglect, was truly a protective barrier shielding you from voices that could shake your spirit. The waiting that seemed endless was in fact sacred ground where I planted seeds of enduring strength. And now, just as night cannot stop the sunrise, neither can anything hinder my light from breaking forth upon your life. I am commanding the darkness to retreat that light may surround you with warmth, hope, and renewed strength. The very place where you felt small will witness your rising. The very place where you felt forgotten will become the stage for miracles. You will no longer walk in uncertainty, but in clarity. You will not merely exist in the shadows of your own story, but you will blossom in the midst of adversity. This is the beginning of a permanent transformation, not a temporary lift. My child, prepare your heart, for the hour I have appointed for you has come. And once I have spoken, no power can stop its fulfillment. My beloved child, there are nights when you feel as though you are left alone in the vast, dark silence. When the night falls and every sound outside has quieted, only your sighs remain and you think the world has forgotten you. Yet in that very moment I have bent down close to you. I hear the troubled rhythm of your heart. I hear even the muffled sobs you dare not release. You have tried many times to hold a smile to cover the wounds within, but I do not see you through the mask you wear. I see the root of your pain. I see the cracks in your soul still clinging to fragile hope. You have asked yourself countless times, is there anyone who truly understands me? Is there anyone who knows the battles I carry within? And the answer, my child, is me. Not only do I know, but I carry those burdens with you. I never demand that you appear strong before me. On the contrary, I love you in your weakness, in your trembling, in the moments when you have nothing left to offer but tears. You do not need to prove yourself to me. You do not need to strive to win my favor. I loved you long before you were able to do anything, and that love does not change because of your failures or your inability to hold a smile for long. Remember this: in the very moment you feel most exposed, most powerless, that is when my love shines its brightest. You may have believed that tears are a sign of defeat, but in my eyes every tear is a silent prayer, a testimony that faith still burns even while surrounded by shadows. There are days you look around and see others enjoying joy, opportunities, and light, while you walk a path strewn with thorns. You have compared yourself, felt sorrow, and thought perhaps I have forgotten your name. But my child, the truth is that I have never taken my eyes off you. I have written your name upon the palm of my hand, and not for a single moment have I let you slip beyond my gaze. I know every second you wait, every longing you keep hidden, every desire yet unspoken. None of these fall into emptiness. All are within my design. I want you to understand that the time I allow you to walk in darkness is not punishment, but preparation. Just as a seed must endure burial in the soil before it rises into life, you too must pass through silence before breakthrough comes. It is in these lonely seasons that I am at work building within you a foundation so strong that when the light comes you will stand firm, unshaken by the storm. Pause for a moment, my child, and look back on the path you have walked. You will see clearly that you have never taken a step alone. If you survived the days when your heart felt as though it would shatter, it was because I secretly upheld you. If you made it through violent storms, it was because my hand shielded you from being swept away. Many things you thought were your own strength were truly the weight I carried so you could keep walking. That is why you still stand today, still breathe, still hope. It is the undeniable evidence that I have never abandoned you, and I never will. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. You may think the long days without answers are wasted, but, my child, they are the very foundation upon which I will reveal my greatness. The failures you have tasted do not define you. They are merely the opening chapters before the triumph. The nights you cried until no tears remained are not the end, but the signal that heaven is ready to open the way. I do not overlook even the smallest cry, nor am I slow in responding. Every silence you mistook for abandonment has truly been my whisper to wait. For if you received too soon, it would not be complete, and if you held it unprepared, it would become a burden. But now, my child, when I declare that a new season has begun, nothing can delay it any longer. I know there are times when you think you have wasted too much time, that too many opportunities have slipped away. You blame yourself for mistakes, for decisions that did not turn out as you hoped. But I tell you, there is no moment wasted when it is placed in my hands. Even the detours that seemed meaningless have become lessons, stepping stones for the leap that is to come. I not only redeem the time you believe was lost, but I also multiply it with abundance. I take what the enemy has stolen and turn it into a reward for you. I gather the scattered fragments and weave them into a new picture, one brighter, more beautiful, and far beyond anything you could have imagined. My child, remember this. I do not simply comfort you only to let you continue enduring. I have come to put an end to the cycle of sorrow. You had grown used to the pattern in which every good beginning was quickly followed by some calamity, and you became afraid of your own joy. But now I break that cycle. I uproot the bondage that kept you trapped in endless repetition of grief. From this very moment, the past will no longer hold the power to write your future. I am rewriting your story not with tears, but with renewal. And you will see that this time your joy will not be stolen, your peace will not be destroyed, and your hope will no longer be fragile. My beloved one, you once thought you were abandoned in the darkness, yet the truth is that I was hiding you under my wings, shielding you from dangers you could not yet see. You called it delay, but I called it preservation. You thought it was silence, but I called it preparation. And now the appointed time has come. The promises I made to you long ago are beginning to take form. Open your heart wide to receive them, for change is no longer a distant dream. It is a reality that is already unfolding before you. Precious child, when I look at your life, I do not see a broken soul as you have often thought. I see a treasure refined through the fire of trials. Every tear you have shed, every endless night, every moment you collapsed in despair, they have not vanished in vain, but have become testimony to a love stronger than any storm. You once believed your wounds would mark you forever, but I declare this, they will now become glorious scars, proof that you survived, that you walked forward not by your own strength, but by the covering of my grace. The places once drenched in pain will now stand as living evidence that I am the God of restoration. And in the very place where others expected you to fall, I will raise you up, astonishing them with a strength you never knew you carried. Remember this, child, your hidden sighs have never been lost in the void. I have transformed each weary breath into a prayer that reached the heavens. From above, I dispatched my angels to act on your behalf, even when you could not yet see the evidence. You thought heaven was silent, but in truth, I have been orchestrating everything with precision. I have been making a way where you thought only dead ends existed. I have been causing streams to flow where you saw only barren ground. When you thought you were being delayed, I was in fact clearing obstacles so that nothing could hinder you once you stepped forward. Understand, this delay is not denial. It is preparation for the fullness of the gift I have for you. Had you received it earlier, the blessing could have turned into a burden. But now, after your heart has been trained in patience and your faith has been strengthened through trials, I know you are ready to embrace what is great. My child, do not think that I am unaware of those moments when you trembled trying to pray, yet unable to utter a single word. I see the times when you simply sit in silence, your eyes blurred with tears, no strength left to speak, yet your heart still cries out within. To human eyes, this may appear as weakness, but to me, it is the purest form of faith, the faith that clings to me when nothing else remains to hold on to. That is true strength. You think you are weak, yet in that very weakness, my power is revealed. As I have promised, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. And you will see that what seemed like your greatest weakness will become the place where my glory shines the brightest. My beloved child, prepare yourself, for the atmosphere around you is shifting. The stillness that once discouraged you will soon resound with songs of triumph. The tears you shed in silence will be replaced with laughter that is no longer forced. I will wipe away every cause of sorrow, and your joy will no longer be fleeting but deeply rooted in my presence. I am leading you out of heavy memories so that you may behold the grand design I have painted since the beginning. The fragments of disappointment, the emptiness of loneliness, all of these will fit perfectly into my flawless plan, proving that nothing has been wasted. You will look back and understand that every rugged path has led you to this very moment, the moment I step in to declare the great reversal. Perhaps you once believed that life was nothing more than a series of days to be endured, that true joy was never meant for you. But I say to you, it shall not be so anymore. You were not created to live in constant anxiety, nor to always brace yourself for disaster after a fleeting joy. You were made to know the fullness of satisfaction in me, to taste unshakable peace even while the storm rages outside. You will smile not because circumstances suddenly shift, but because you have seen me enter the scene, and that alone changes everything. You will walk forward with renewed faith, with a heart alive again, with eyes that gleam with hope. For now you know with certainty that you have never been abandoned, that every tear carries meaning, and that every hidden cry has stirred a divine intervention from heaven. Therefore, my precious child, do not let sorrowful memories bind your soul any longer. Lift your head and look ahead. Before you lies light, before you lies a new beginning, before you lies proof of my goodness. You no longer need to live in the cycle of suffering, no longer need to handle joy with caution, no longer need to doubt your own worth. This is the season I have ordained for you to step out, to rise, to become a living testimony to those around you that the Lord never overlooks a soul that calls upon His name. And when this takes place, you will not need to prove yourself, for the transformation in your life will speak louder than 1,000 words. People will see, and they will know that it was I who acted, my beloved child. I know there were times when you thought the wounds of your past had dimmed the light of your future. You have looked back so often and seen yourself only as a shadow of yesterday, trapped in regret, forgetting that I have already opened a new day before you. You told yourself that what was broken could never be mended, that what was lost could never be restored. But I say to you, I am the one who turns mourning into dancing, who removes the garments of grief and clothes you with gladness. You were never destined to dwell forever in the darkness of memory, for your future is written in the light of hope, not in the ashes of the past. I do not merely patch up what is shattered. I make all things new, that your life may become a reflection of my glory. Remember my promise, behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth, do you not perceive it? Isaiah 4:3-19. Yes, my child, I am making all things new in your life, right in the place where you thought only ruins remained. I have seen you walk with a heart weighed down by wounds, trying to appear normal among the crowd while bleeding inside. I have seen you suppress your pain behind laughter, concealing your emptiness with shallow conversations. You have feared that if you opened your heart, others would not understand, or worse, they would reject you. But I, your Creator, have never rejected you. I embrace every fragment I bind, every wound I touch, the hidden corners no one else can reach. When you thought everything was lost, I planted a new seed of life within you. When you thought you had no worth, I reminded you that you are my treasured jewel. My child, it is not what others say about you that defines you, nor even what you have been through. It is I who determine your worth, and that worth has never diminished, not even once. There are days when you grow weary to the point that you no longer feel inclined to pray, convinced that your petitions cannot even rise beyond the ceiling. Yet, my child, I have heard them all. Even the faintest whisper, even the most stifled sob I have listened to and remembered. Not a single word has ever slipped past me. You may think heaven is silent, but in truth, I am moving behind the veil, arranging every detail that your eyes cannot yet perceive. If only you knew how I have shifted mountains, cleared pathways, and softened hearts on your behalf, you would be moved to tears, realizing that not for a single moment have I abandoned you. Take courage, for I have declared in Psalm 3:4-1-8, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. You are such a one, and that is why I have never turned away. My child, you are not destined to live under the shadow of fear that your joy will soon be extinguished. The joy I give is unlike the fleeting pleasure the world offers. It is not subject to the instability of changing circumstances, but is rooted in my very presence. It will endure when storms rage. It will remain when disappointment comes, for it does not arise from human effort, but from me. I know you have often waited for goodness, only to see it slip away in an instant, but this time I come to lay a new foundation. I come to give you a joy that is no longer fragile, a peace that is no longer threatened, and a hope that cannot be stolen. This is the beginning of a new story, not one written with tears, but with songs of praise. And you yourself will be the living witness of this truth. My beloved child, do not mistake my delay for indifference. Everything I do is perfectly timed, never too early, never too late. What seems like delay is often my shield to protect you from what is not yet ready. What seems like silence is the space in which I build endurance, wisdom, and strength within you. You think you are standing still, but in reality you are being lifted little by little with unshakable steadiness in a way no storm can undo. When the moment arrives, doors that have long been sealed will suddenly open, and you will see that everything had been prepared long before. You are not being left behind. You are being preserved for a greater moment of glory, and that moment is now drawing nearer than ever before. My precious one, I know how often your heart has been broken by promises left unfulfilled, by expectations that crumbled midway. You have grown accustomed to pouring all your hope into one door, only to watch it close right before your eyes. Many times you have whispered in silence, "Why does the good slip away from me? Why does it vanish just when I thought I could reach it?" I want you to understand that no door closes without purpose. Some doors are shut not to punish you, but to protect you from what you cannot yet see. Some ties are severed not because you are unworthy, but because I know they would hold you back from something far greater. You may think you are losing, but in reality, I am clearing the path. I am removing what cannot journey with you into the new season, so that no excess burden slows your steps in the destiny I have prepared. My child, I see every disappointment that has caused you to close your heart, every moment you have told yourself to stop hoping, because hope seemed too painful to carry. But even when you thought your faith was gone, it was in those very moments that it was quietly being strengthened. For though you may cast aside your dreams and tell yourself not to expect any more, deep within you still long, still yearn for change. That small flame, I have seen it, and I have never allowed it to die. That flame is proof that your soul still turns toward me, and I will not let it be extinguished. Instead, I will breathe new life into it until it blazes into a fire so radiant that no storm will ever quench it. My child, I know the seasons of waiting have wearied your heart. You have watched others be lifted up, entering into joy, while you felt left standing in the same place, and that quiet sorrow has tried to convince you that perhaps you have been forgotten. But I tell you, you have never been overlooked. You are not delayed. You are being held for the right moment. I do not move according to your timetable, but according to the perfection of my plan. And when the appointed time comes, what I have prepared will arrive, not in part, but in fullness. When I open a door, no one can shut it. When I give, no power can take it away. You have learned how to stand firm in waiting, and now you will learn how to sing in fulfillment. Do not think my silence is a sign of abandonment. In truth, it is the season when I am working the most. Though you cannot hear, I am moving the pieces of the greater picture of your life. I am stirring hearts you have not yet met to remember your name. I am arranging resources, shifting mountains, and clearing pathways, so that when the time comes, you will step in as if it had always belonged to you. You will be astonished to see the very prayers you once whispered through tears quietly but powerfully come to pass. Then you will know I was never late. I was only waiting until you were ready to receive what exceeds your imagination. Beloved child, do not fear what has been lost. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers, the seasons you thought wasted, all of these are being redeemed by me. I do not simply return what was taken, I make it greater than before. You think years have been lost, but I will restore with acceleration. What seemed dead will live again. What seemed shattered will be rebuilt more beautifully than it was in the beginning. For I do not work with fragments, I create newness. You will no longer mourn over the past, for both your present and your future will overflow with proof that I still hold your story firmly in my hands. My child, you need not fear that your joy will once again be stolen. The cycle of sorrow has ended. I have not only broken it, I have uprooted it completely, so it will never bind you again. From this day forward, you will no longer live under the shadow of anxiety, no longer wonder when joy will disappear. Instead, you will learn to embrace peace, to believe that goodness can endure, for its source is not circumstance but me. The security you long for will not be found in people but in my presence, where no one can reach and nothing can destroy. Therefore, my child, open your heart once more. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not let past disappointments keep you from receiving the blessing that is on its way. Believe that goodness is coming, not because of your effort, but because of my love. Walk forward, not with a burdened heart, but with confidence that I am present in every detail, that I have prepared all things, and that I have ordered each step. You will see that the waiting was never wasted, but was the very proof that the blessing you receive will stand unshaken. And when you look back, you will smile through your tears, knowing that all which once caused you pain has become the very platform that drew you closer to me and glorified my name through your story. My beloved child, I know there have been days when you walked with heavy steps, carrying not only weariness, but also the fear that nothing would ever truly change. You looked around and saw everything still motionless, while your heart longed for even the smallest sign that I was listening. But know this, while your eyes saw nothing, my hand was still at work. Every moment you remained faithful in the silence, I was quietly weaving wonders. You thought you were standing still, but in reality, you were being carried closer to fulfillment. Just as a seed hidden deep in the soil breaks through its hard shell unseen until it rises above the ground, so too are you in a sacred process I have designed. And this process is never in vain, for it is preparing you for a harvest beyond what you have ever dared to dream. My child, I have heard the cry of your heart in the long nights, when you thought no one cared for the trembling within you. I have seen every tear fall silently upon your pillow. I have not only seen them, but I have gathered them and stored them in heaven as treasure, so that when the day comes for me to pour out, you will know that not a single drop was in vain. In that very weakness, I have seen your faith, faith that does not need to be loud, faith that does not seek to be proven before others, but faith that whispers only, "Lord, please do not forsake me." That is the faith I cherish the most. And so I declare that you will not be abandoned, you will not be forgotten. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 1:4-7-3. Those words are not only for the nations, but for you personally, for every pain you are carrying. You once thought that those bitter experiences had stolen forever your ability to dream. But my child, I tell you that those very wounds are the strongest evidence that you can rise again. They are not chains to imprison you, but a springboard for me to lift you higher. You will no longer look back on your past as a series of endings, for I have turned them into commas continuing the story. You will no longer fear that you are bound by mistakes or failures, for I have erased that sentence of guilt in my love. What you thought was an ending, I am transforming into a beginning. Places you believed would remain desolate, I am watering with living water. And you will see that even from ashes I can bring forth new life, stronger, brighter, and filled with greater purpose. My beloved child, I do not want you to keep walking with your head bowed, weighed down by the fear of not being enough. I have never called you a failure. I have never destined you to remain bound by fear. I created you with a sacred purpose, and that purpose has never been lost even when circumstances made you forget. It is time for you to see yourself through my eyes, not through the narrow vision of others. In my eyes you are precious, called by name, chosen to carry my light into the world. And that light will not be extinguished simply because darkness has surrounded you for so long. On the contrary, the darker it is, the brighter your light will shine. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:1-4. Believe that you are that light, and nothing can put it out, for it does not come from your strength, but from me, the one who has ignited it within you. My child, what I am doing in your life is not a temporary comfort. This is a transformation at the very root. I am not only wiping away your tears, I am cutting off the very cause that made you weep. I am not only healing your wounds, I am fortifying the places that were once broken, making them your strongest points. You will no longer live in fear of shattering again, for the foundation I am building within you is stronger than any storm. You will no longer live expecting the worst, for I am teaching you to believe that good things will not merely pass by but will remain. And when this transformation unfolds, others will not be able to deny that it was I who acted. You will not need to explain. You will not need to defend yourself, for the new life within you will be the most powerful testimony of all. Therefore, my child, lift up your head. Do not let the lies that once echoed in your mind hold you back. Do not let old sorrows drag down your steps. Believe that I am writing a new chapter, and this chapter is not stained with disappointment, but overflowing with hope. Let me erase the old lines of doubt and replace them with unshakable promises. And as you walk in that light, you will come to understand that every tear you once shed was only the beginning of a far greater joy I have prepared. You will laugh, but not with a forced smile. You will rejoice, but not with fleeting joy. You will praise, for you will know beyond all doubt that I have made all things new and nothing can ever reverse it. My beloved child, now I want to open your eyes to see something deeper, that the journey you are walking is neither a coincidence nor a string of random events. Every step you take, whether slow and halting in the night or trembling on the edge of uncertainty, has been measured and arranged by me. Not a single day of your life is lost in oblivion. Not a single moment falls outside my sight. You may think you are lost in the maze of life, but in truth, I myself have shaped these paths to train your spirit, to teach you to rely not on your own strength but on trust. You have wondered why you must endure so many trials, but I tell you, these trials are not meant to break you down. They are meant to form within you a resilience that nothing in this world could ever bestow. My child, look back and recognize that it was precisely in the moments you felt you had lost everything that I drew closer than ever before. I did not abandon you in the darkness, but I allowed you to experience it so that your eyes would long more deeply for the light. It is in lack that you learn the value of provision. It is in brokenness that you come to know the gift of healing. It is in the seeming silence that you are taught to hear my whisper. If you only walked a smooth path, your soul would never know the triumph after the storm. But I, the author and finisher of faith, have chosen for you a journey interwoven with both tears and joy, both pain and victory, so that in the end you would see you are no longer the same. You have grown more mature, stronger, and deeper in your knowledge of me. Beloved one, I want you to understand that everything unfolding is within the good plan I have ordained. You have often thought of yourself as a victim of circumstance, that your life is determined by the failures of others or the injustice of this world. But I declare to you, no power, no force, no hand, other than mine, can determine the outcome of your life. What the enemy plotted for destruction, I turn into the means to lift you up. What people believed was the end, I use as the beginning of a new story. Remember, my power is not limited by your failures or by the conditions around you. On the contrary, those very things you see as obstacles become the very material by which I reveal my glory. And when you realize this, you will no longer look at life with fear, but with hope, for you will know with certainty that I still hold everything in my hands. There are times when you pray and do not see an answer right away, and you are quick to think that I am silent or that I have forgotten. but I want you to know that my delay is not denial, it is preparation. I know exactly when the right time is, when the moment comes that you are truly ready to receive. If I gave too soon, you could not sustain it. If I placed it in your hands before you were strong enough, the gift could become a burden. That is why I allow you to wait, but the waiting is never meaningless. It trains your patience, it enlarges your heart, and it makes you value my gift all the more when it arrives. One day, when you see fulfillment, you will bow and say, "Everything was arranged perfectly." You will no longer complain about the delay, but will give thanks that I did not grant it sooner. My child, what I desire from you is not a heart closed off in disappointment, but one open to embrace the new. Do not let painful memories blind you to the glorious vision ahead. Do not let the fear of betrayal keep you from welcoming those whom I will send to walk alongside you. Do not let doubt cause you to reject grace. Know this: I have never stopped moving in your journey. I still go before you, opening doors no one can shut, and shutting doors no one can open. I do not leave your soul exposed, but I am building a hedge of protection around you, so that what does not belong to you will no longer have access. And when you see certain things, certain people, certain circumstances leaving your life, trust that it is my refining, not abandonment. Therefore, my child, take courage and keep walking forward. Place your trust more in me than in what your eyes see. Do not let insecurity pull you back to the old paths. I have prepared ahead for you a new land, a new journey, a new season in which my goodness will be made manifest. You need not worry about finding the way, for I am the way. You need not search anxiously for truth, for I am the truth. You need not fear death, for I am the life. Simply hold my hand and you will see that everything you once thought impossible will indeed become possible. There are moments in life when darkness seems to cover every corner, and it becomes easy to believe that one has been abandoned. Yet it is in those very times that my hand is quietly at work, preparing for a great turning point. Not a single trial you face is meaningless. They are like flames in the refining fire, melting away fear, cleansing confusion, and making your faith purer than gold. Every step you take in tears, every time your heart feels like it is breaking, is becoming a stone in the foundation of the path ahead. It is within weariness and weakness that my power is revealed most clearly, so that you may know victory does not come from your strength, but from the one who has called you to walk. Do not think that delay means my silence. In truth, it is the time in which I am preparing the way, removing obstacles you cannot see. Some doors close not to disappoint you, but to guard your soul from deadly dead ends. Some people leave not as a loss, but as a release from ties that could stain your future. I am refining, I am preparing, I am setting everything in its proper place. And when the moment comes, you will see all things blend into a perfect symphony, no note misplaced, no chord unnecessary. Remember that I not only bring you out of darkness, but also lead you into a place overflowing with light. I do not merely wipe away your tears, but turn them into seeds that will blossom in a new season. The very things you thought were failures will become the foundation upon which I build triumph. The days you felt forgotten will become testimony to my unchanging love. As the scripture says, you turned my wailing into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy. Psalm 30:11. This promise is not for a stranger, but for you, the one longing to be renewed, to step into a season of rejoicing. I want you to believe that your life is not just a chain of hardships strung together. It is a journey I designed before you ever existed. Every turn, every pause, every silence is part of the grand plan I have laid out. You may not understand it all, but you are called to walk by faith. Look back at the times you thought you would collapse, I upheld you. At the moments you had no strength left, I made a way. I will continue to do the same in your present and in your future. for I am the faithful one who never changes, who never abandons you. Accusations may rise around you, and the enemy may set schemes to block your steps, but all of these only serve to highlight the victory I have already ordained. Do not let your heart be shaken by what your eyes see. The spiritual reality is stronger than the visible one. If God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:3-1. This word is an eternal declaration, a shield of protection, a foundation on which you can stand firm in the storm. You do not fight alone, for the hosts of heaven surround you, and I, myself, am your unshakable fortress. I know you have often been unsettled by the absence of immediate results. I know the long nights of restlessness, the unanswered questions, the dreams that seem endlessly delayed. But I also want you to know that every tear, every sigh is recorded in heaven's memory. Nothing falls in vain. They become wordless prayers rising straight to the throne of glory, stirring divine intervention. The enemy may think it has driven you to a dead end, but at that very moment, I am preparing a great breakthrough. And when that moment comes, you will not only see yourself rescued, but also experience a deep transformation within. Your faith will become a lamp for others stumbling in the dark. Your story will become living proof that I am the living God, the one who can overturn every situation. I will turn pain into testimony, failure into a beginning, and loss into an opportunity for grace to abound. Do not think that this journey is only meant for you to endure. In truth, it is my way of engraving upon your soul the truth that my love never changes. It is in moments of weakness that you will know what perfect power truly is. It is in times when you feel like giving up that you will experience my sustaining hand. And it is in the days when you seem drained and empty that you will discover that I am the fountain that never runs dry. From that place you will rise again, not by your own strength, but by the power that comes from above. Walk forward with the assurance that a new season is near. The things that once restrained you, that bound you, that trapped you in endless cycles are now dissolving. Invisible prisons are opening. Silent chains are being broken. And you will see clearly it is not by your own effort, but by grace, by divine intervention. Once more I declare, you are not abandoned, you are not forgotten. You are destined to become a living testimony of my power, my love, and my faithfulness. My beloved, there is a sacred truth that many often overlook in the journey of faith. What appears to collapse often becomes the foundation for something lasting. Not a single moment of brokenness is without purpose when I allow it. Every crack in your life is not meant to bring your ruin, but to create openings through which light may enter. In the days when you feel engulfed by darkness, it is then that I plant seeds of hope, which in due season will sprout into strength that rises above every limit. My beloved one, you are not destined to remain in brokenness, but to step out of it with a soul refined, strengthened, and radiant. Consider this: if you had never tasted pain, you would not know the value of healing. If you had never walked through emptiness, you would not truly cherish the gift of presence. It is lack that has taught you gratitude, trials that have taught you perseverance, and adversity that has taught you reliance. Therefore, do not view the harsh days as your enemy, but see them as the hidden teachers shaping you. All of this is but preparation for the great transformation I have already ordained. I know you have longed many times for instant answers, but my love does not merely satisfy temporary desires. It builds what is eternal. If I gave you everything according to your own will, you might rejoice for a moment, but stumble again soon after. That is why I choose to lead you through the process slower, yet more secure. A foundation can only be strong when it is laid upon the everlasting rock. And I desire that your life not be a series of fleeting changes, but a sanctuary where my glory dwells. There are lies the enemy whispers into your ear, that you are not good enough, that you have been forgotten, that your past has sealed your fate. But remember this: the accusations only carry power when you choose to believe them. I have already declared you chosen, called, and loved, and no force can strip away that truth. Instead of listening to the whispers of darkness, anchor your heart in my word. Let my promises be your compass, for they will never fail. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. This has been inscribed since eternity and still stands firm to this day. Whenever you feel small, remember that I use what seems weak to accomplish what is mighty. I choose what appears lowly to put to shame what is proud. I choose those who seem unnoticed to reveal my radiant power through them. Therefore, do not fear being weak. In your weakness, my strength is made perfect. In your trembling, my love is affirmed. All you need is to keep your heart steadfast, for the battle itself I have already secured. Recall the steps you have walked. Every moment when you thought you would fall, I lifted you up. Every time you trembled in fear, I made a way. Every instant you felt lost, I brought you back to the right path. All these are proofs that I have never left your side. And this is also the guarantee for your future. I will continue to lead, to protect, and to provide. Your journey is not a solitary one, but a journey in fellowship with the living one. The transformation I am bringing about is not only for you. It is also a testimony to those who are watching your life. When they see someone who once collapsed now standing firm, someone who was once broken now shining with radiance, they will know that it is not your strength but my work. And that very testimony will open the door of hope for many other souls. You are not only saved, you are also appointed as a lamp set on high, so that others may find their way out of darkness. Therefore, do not be anxious when you cannot yet see the whole picture. Do not lose heart when you can only make out scattered fragments. I am the master artist, and I am fitting every piece together. At the appointed time you will see that all things align perfectly. No sorrow is wasted, no tear is in vain, and no barren season is meaningless. Everything becomes material for the glorious masterpiece I am building. My faithful one, keep walking with steadfast faith. Do not let present burdens cloud your vision. Do not allow the clamor of the world to drown out the truth I am declaring. I am ushering in a new season, a time in which you will taste freedom, peace, and joy in fullness. What I have begun in you, I will surely bring to completion. No power can hinder it, no circumstance can derail it. All things will ultimately bow to my eternal purpose. Hold firmly to this promise. Your journey will not end in disappointment, but in glory. What I have started, I will finish. And when you look back, you will see that every step, even the painful ones, even the ones marked by tears, led you here to the place where you finally understand that you belong to me, and nothing can ever separate you from this unfailing love. My child, there are moments in life that are not merely turning points but complete redirections ordained from heaven. It is in those times when everything familiar suddenly feels strange, when old habits no longer bring comfort, and when bonds you once thought unbreakable begin to fade. Many perceive this as loss, but in truth, it is a sign that a new season is drawing near. I am orchestrating a shift, and this movement is not to take something precious from you, but to prepare room for greater things. When you feel the ground beneath your feet tremble, it is not collapse, but the dismantling of the old to make way for the new. In these past years, I have trained you to endure hardship, to cling to hope when nothing remained to grasp, to hold on to faith when every promise seems silent. Now I do not only desire that you stand firm, but that you step forward. No longer just survival, but breakthrough. No longer only keeping the flame alive, but letting it blaze to illuminate an entire region. I did not place you in trials merely to teach endurance, but to prepare you for a season of rising. Many times you have looked back and asked, why must the old doors close? Why do those once near no longer walk with me? Why do familiar things now seem distant? But remember, I never shut a door without preparing a new way. What departs was never essential for the journey ahead. I have ordained that only what is truly needed will remain, and whatever would slow your steps must be left behind. And when you understand this, you will no longer grieve, but give thanks that I have freed you from unnecessary burdens. See this process as a journey through the wilderness. The people of Israel had to leave Egypt, where they had grown accustomed to slavery, in order to enter the barren desert. Yet in that wilderness they saw the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire. They received manna from heaven, and they learned to trust me daily. They were not led into desolation to perish, but to be transformed. Likewise, the trials you are facing are not meant to end in exhaustion, but to lead you into a new promised land. I want you to know that every change taking place is but a pathway toward lasting blessing. In these days, I am awakening a new sensitivity in your spirit. You will find that you can no longer live by old patterns. Empty conversations will no longer attract you. Relationships that once drew you into compromise will lose their pull. My presence will become your greatest desire above all else, and it is this very longing that will unlock new doors before you. I am not calling you to a new land merely for better scenery, but so that you may walk in a deeper intimacy with me. I know that change often comes hand in hand with fear. You have sought safety in what was familiar, yet that false sense of safety could never keep you forever. I desire for you to step out of your comfort zone and realize that true security is not found in circumstances but in my embrace. When you place your trust in me, you will see that even in the midst of storms, I preserve your peace. Even when everything around you trembles, I keep your spirit steadfast. And that very steadfastness will testify to others that you do not walk alone. I am building within you a new courage, not the kind that comes from the absence of fear, but the courage that chooses to keep walking even when fear still lingers. Courage does not mean that you fully understand the future. It means knowing that I am present in every single step you take. Each time you move forward, darkness is forced to retreat. Each time you dare to believe, chains are broken. Each time you choose to walk in the light, the shadows of the past lose their grip. What I am beginning in you does not only touch your own life, but it will ripple out to those around you. Your family, your friends, even those who once doubted, will be compelled to acknowledge that a greater power is at work in your journey. They will see that what you are experiencing is not merely the fruit of your own effort, but the hand of the Almighty. And in that moment, your very life will stand as a living testimony that I still move upon the earth, that I still transform lives, that I still deliver and bless those who seek me. Therefore, do not look at change with fear, but see it with the eyes of hope. Do not let the weight of what has passed hold you back. Open your heart wide to receive the newness I am bringing forth. This is not the end. It is a beginning. It is not loss. It is preparation for abundance. It is not emptiness. It is the space where I will pour in my fullness. And know this, you are not merely entering a new season, you are stepping into a new era, an era of true freedom, of enduring peace, of unshakable joy. This is the moment I am rewriting your story. And this story will no longer be pages filled with tears, but will be inscribed with light and victory. My beloved, understand that what is happening around you is not by chance. Every shift of season, every disruption, whether external or within, rests within the design I have already written for your life. Do not think that the upheaval is only the result of earthly forces, for behind it all is my hand arranging to bring you out of an old chapter. I will not allow you to remain trapped in an endless cycle of disappointment. I am breaking that spiral to open up a new path. Every change you are experiencing is a reminder that I have never abandoned you, but that I am still orchestrating the flow of time to guide your steps. There are moments when you may feel like a traveler in the night with only uncertainty ahead. Yet, remember, my light has never vanished. It may not blaze like the midday sun, but it shines enough to keep you safe, step by step. I know you long to see the entire road before you, but I choose to show you only one step at a time, for I want you to learn to trust. If you knew the whole future, you would have no need of faith. But it is precisely in the not knowing that I teach you to live by faith, not merely by sight or emotion. My beloved, do not let the accusations of darkness make you doubt your worth. The enemy constantly tries to persuade you that the wounds of the past have ruined your future, that your failures have lessened your value in my sight. But the truth is this: those very scars are witnesses of my mercy. Those very stumbles have become the ground upon which humility and gratitude are built. When you are weak, my grace overflows all the more. When you are powerless, my strength is made manifest. So stop looking at yourself with eyes of doubt and begin to look at me with eyes of trust. Do not be surprised when I allow certain relationships to fade away. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next season. Some people are appointed only to journey with you for a short distance, and then they must step aside when it is time for you to rise to a higher place. If you keep clinging to them, you will only slow yourself down. Believe that what feels like loss is not a sign of abandonment, but a way of my protection. I remove what is unnecessary so that you will be ready for the divine appointments with those who are destined to help you build a new chapter. These ones will not come to replace what was lost, but to complement you. They are not substitutes for me, but instruments in my hand, arriving at the right place, the right time, and the right season. Remember the days when Israel was preparing to cross the Jordan River. They had to leave behind old habits, old ways of thinking, and even an entire generation that could not enter the promised land. Only those willing to trust and obey were able to step into the land flowing with milk and honey. That truth remains today. I do not want you to be held back by familiar patterns. I want you to walk boldly, so that you will not only hear of my promises, but also taste and experience my faithfulness for yourself. My beloved child, many times your heart has whispered the question, when will what you have promised come to pass? Know this: my timing is never delayed. Everything is arranged in perfect order. If I allow you to wait, it is not because I have forgotten, but because I am preparing. I prepare not only circumstances, but your very soul. If you step in too soon, you may not yet have the strength to hold what I give. But when you have been refined, you will not only receive, but you will also know how to guard it and nurture it until it grows into a lasting blessing. Let faith take the place of impatience. Let hope silence every whisper of despair. Let gratitude be the key that opens the new door. When you give thanks, even in the hardest days, you are declaring that darkness has no final power over your life. When you praise me in the midst of trials, you are opening space for me to move more powerfully. And when you remain faithful, you will see blessings overflow not only for yourself, but for those around you. Those who have watched your journey will have no choice but to acknowledge the undeniable transformation taking place. They will see that you are no longer bound by the past, but carry the light of hope. They will recognize that the joy you have does not come from circumstances, but from a source that never runs dry, and that very difference will stand as living proof that I am the Almighty God actively working among mankind. Therefore, do not fear when you find yourself leaving behind what is old. Do not cling to what has passed. Do not let regret delay you from embracing what is new. This is the moment when I am calling you to walk with courage. This is the season in which I am making all things new. This is the hour when I am writing a new page in your life. My child, you must understand that I never begin a work without completing it. What I have planted in your heart, what I have promised from the very beginning, will never vanish into nothingness. It may appear delayed in your eyes, but in my plan, everything is moving with precision. The tears you have shed, the silent prayers you have whispered, the hidden pains no one else has known. All these have become seeds sown into a spiritual field. And in the appointed season those seeds will break forth, blossom, and bear fruit, bringing you an abundant harvest that nothing can hinder. When I look at you, I do not only see the present moment. I see the entire canvas of your life, from the moment you were created to the day of fulfillment. I see the paths you could never have imagined. I know the turns, the crossroads, and the places where you once wished to give up. And I also see the moment you step beyond your limits, becoming a living witness to my power. Therefore, do not be unsettled when you cannot understand why I lead you through winding roads, for I am using those very paths to carve strength and endurance deep within you. There are seasons when you thought everything was fading away. You felt doors closing one by one as though no way forward remained. Yet the truth is, I was deliberately removing those doors, for they would not take you where I intend. I do not want you to walk into a journey that brings only temporary satisfaction. I want you to discover what is everlasting. Sometimes what I close is exactly what you once begged me to open. But know this, I see farther than you. I know which road leads to life, and which road descends into ruin. So when I hold you back, it is not rejection, it is love and protection. Take notice that even in the darkest days there are always small signs reminding you of my presence. A word of comfort that arrives unexpectedly, a timely help, an opportunity opening when you thought hope was gone. These are not coincidences. They are proof that heaven is at work to keep you standing firm. I never allow you to walk without leaving traces of my presence along the way. You need only open the eyes of your heart, and you will see that I have been there all along, even when you thought you were alone. You must understand that my silence does not mean abandonment. There are times I remain silent to teach you to hear your own heart. There are times I remain silent to test your patience. And there are times I remain silent to prepare an answer that surpasses every expectation. Remember, silence does not equal absence. On the contrary, in the silence, I often act the most, for that is when you learn to yield, to surrender, and to wait. You will come to realize that what once weighed you down has now become priceless lessons. What once made you stumble has now become a foundation to lift others. I do not allow those trials to be wasted. Every pain is transformed by me into strength. Every tear is exchanged for peace. And when you look back, you will no longer see defeat, but the journey of growth. That very journey will serve as a testimony for those who are losing faith that if I have done it for you, I can also do it for them. Believe that I am opening new doors for you. They are not like what you have seen before, nor are they built on your past efforts. These are doors opened by my own hand, and when I open them, no one can shut them. But to step through, you must have the courage to leave behind what is familiar. For the new always requires a heart willing to step out of its comfort zone. I have not called you to settle, but to rise higher, to demonstrate that I can transform even what seems impossible. My beloved child, know this. I have not only delivered you from darkness, but I have also placed a mission upon your life. You are not merely called to survive, but to shine. You are not only saved for safety, but to become a vessel bringing light into places of deep shadow. That is why the experiences you have walked through are not for you alone, but so others may see me through your life. You will become a living testimony that I am the faithful one, the promise keeper, the one who never abandons his people. And in the days to come you will see more clearly that nothing you have endured was wasted. Every moment, every trial, every season of waiting has been woven together into a complete symphony. When that melody rises, it will not only soothe your own heart, but also flow outward to bring healing to many others. This is the moment when I cause all things to work together, turning fragments into a whole picture, turning pain into a song of hope, and transforming years of testing into a spiritual inheritance. Therefore, stand firm. Keep moving forward. Hold on to hope, for I am the one who begins and the one who completes. I am the one who called, and I am also the one who will fulfill. No power, no accusation, no force can hinder the plan I have written for you. There are moments in your journey when you thought everything had ended, that the door of hope had been sealed shut forever. But I tell you, it was only the beginning of a new chapter, one that I, myself, open. You were not destined to live in the echoes of the past, but to step into a new reality where my light breaks forth, where my presence becomes your strength, and where everything you once believed was lost is restored in unexpected ways. When I look at you, I do not see through the limited eyes of mankind. I see within you a potential you have never dared to believe. I see possibilities beyond imagination, for I know the original design with which I created you. What you call brokenness I see as material for building. What you call failure I see as the foundation for a greater victory. For I never waste anything. Even your wounds become doors through which my grace overflows. You have walked through days when darkness seemed to swallow your soul. You have wondered whether life still held meaning, whether dreams still carried value. Yet in that very night, my flame never went out. Though small, it continued to burn, waiting for the moment to rise into a blazing torch. You must know that this flame does not come from your own strength, but from my presence within you. It cannot be extinguished by opposition nor destroyed by accusations. It is the proof that I am still with you, still protecting you, still guiding every step you take. There are things I arrange not for you to understand immediately, but for you to learn to trust. At times I lead you to places reason cannot explain, so that you may learn to place faith above calculation. You must understand that walking in the light does not always mean walking in clarity, but it always means walking in safety. For if I am the one leading, then, even when you do not see every detail, you are still on the right path. Remember that everything I do is never only about you. I always see beyond to generations, to the many who will be touched through your story. You are not merely an individual rescued, but also an instrument in a greater design. Through your own experience, I will pave the way for others to find hope. Through your wounds that have been healed, I will bring comfort to other souls. Every step you take not only shapes your future, but also contributes to the vast canvas of my kingdom. When you think you have nothing to offer, I see within you a treasure of great worth. When you feel weak, I see the opportunity for my power to be revealed. I choose those who seem insignificant to accomplish extraordinary works, so that no one may boast that victory belongs to human strength, but all glory may return to me. Look again at the stories in Scripture. David was merely an unknown shepherd, yet I placed him before Goliath to display heavenly might. Joseph was sold into slavery and spent years in prison, but those very hardships led him to the throne of Egypt, where he saved an entire nation from famine. In the same way, I am using your life to write a testimony that no one can deny. Do not think that the years stolen from you are forever lost. I am able to restore far more than what the enemy has taken. I not only repay, but multiply in abundance. I can turn barren lands into fruitful fields, transform lack into plenty, and change brokenness into joy. In the very place you thought was the end, I begin a new journey. In the very ground you believed to be a grave, I cause life to burst forth. In the days ahead you will see more clearly that I am the one who transforms all things. I can make deserts bloom with flowers, cause rivers to flow in empty wastelands, and bring hope to hearts in places that seemed beyond hope. What I do will not only astonish you, but will also cause those around you to recognize that this is not the work of man, but the handiwork of the Creator. My beloved child, keep your hope alive. Do not allow fear or accusations to blind you from the future. For I have ordained a path for you, not one of defeat, but of abundance and blessing. I have written your story, and no power can erase it. When I speak, heaven and earth must move. When I act, no one can hinder. And my promises to you remain intact, never failing, never changing. Therefore, walk forward with faith. Lift up your head and take your steps with confidence. Do not imprison yourself in regret by looking back at the past, but fix your eyes on what lies ahead, where I am opening a new way for you. You will see restoration, you will experience renewal, and you will become living proof that I am the living God, the one who makes the impossible possible. My beloved child, know this. I do not merely restore what was lost, but I lead you into a place you have never known before. My intervention never stops at mending the cracks of the past. I renew, I enlarge, and I grant you a greater vision. You will realize that the trials which once drained you were stepping stones for my glory to be revealed. Every tear, every sigh, every moment you thought you could no longer endure, all have become the very substance with which I am writing a new chapter of victory. You once believed your strength was only enough to survive, but I have chosen to make you a bearer of triumph. I do not merely lift you from the pit, but I set you on high so that many may look and know that I am the one at work. What you must hold firmly in your heart is this: when I created you, I breathed into you the breath of life that cannot be extinguished. Therefore, no scheme of darkness, however cunning, can erase what I have begun. You are my workmanship, and that work will be completed until the day of fulfillment. What you have walked through has never been random. I allowed you to pass through flames, so that the fire could not consume you, but refine you like pure gold. I let you walk through deep waters, so that they did not drown you, but washed away what was no longer needed. Remember this: every circumstance is only a tool I use to prepare you. Not a single moment has been wasted, for all is held within my hand. You may wonder, how can pain ever turn into something good? But look back, and you will see it was those very hardships that taught you to pray, that pushed you to lean on me instead of relying on your own strength. The dark days stirred within you a longing for light. The disappointments awakened you to the true worth of hope. Without them, you would not be able to stand firm in the days I am preparing to bring you into. And now, as you step into a new season, everything will testify that I am the one who turns mourning into dancing, who replaces garments of sorrow with robes of praise. Prepare your heart to receive increase. Do not think that what I give is just enough, for I am the God of abundance. I do not dispense in drops, but pour out like a rushing flood. I did not create you to live in lack, but to know fullness in me. Believe that doors once closed will be opened, and paths once sealed will be made clear. When I have spoken, nothing can stand against it. You must understand that the victory ahead is not for you alone. It is a declaration in the Spirit that the world may see that I am powerful. When I lift you up, it will be a signal for many others to be drawn out of darkness. When I make a way for you, it is also the moment I open the way for those who will follow. All glory belongs to me, yet you will be the living witness of that love and strength. My beloved, hold your faith steadfast. I know fear and doubt may sometimes try to slip in, but remember, I am not distant. I am near, and I never remain silent to your cries. When you are at your weakest, that is when my strength shines most clearly. When you have no words left, let your sighs become prayers, for I understand even what is left unspoken. You will see that the coming days will not resemble the past. I am changing circumstances, and I am changing you. You will no longer tremble before what once terrified you. You will no longer be bound by what once held you captive. I am placing a new freedom in your spirit, a new joy in your mind, and a peace that surpasses all understanding in your heart. This peace does not come from people or situations, but from me, and it will become the foundation for every step you take. Lift your eyes beyond what is visible. Do not limit yourself to what the world says is possible or impossible, for I am the one who breaks all boundaries. I am the one who opens a way where there is none. I am the one who makes the weak strong and the forsaken chosen. You need not worry whether you are enough, for I am your sufficiency. You do not need to prove yourself, for I am your validation. And you do not need to fear being left behind, for I go before you, walk with you, and guard you to the very end. Remember this, everything happening now is only the prelude to a greater unveiling. Every shift you feel is not chaos, but a sign that heaven is at work. I am rearranging every detail so that when the time comes, you will step into a reality completely transformed. You will no longer view life through the old lens, but through the light of truth. You will know that I am not only the deliverer in a moment, but the companion for a lifetime. Therefore stand firm and remain steadfast. Do not let the noise of the world drown out my voice. Anchor your heart in the promises I have given, for I never break a promise. I do not change as people do. Everything I have spoken will come to pass, and every plan I have begun will be brought to completion. And you will be the living testimony that my word is true, that my love never shifts, and that my power is never restrained. Recognize, my child, that I have not only brought you out of darkness, but I am also placing you into an entirely new setting. This is the time of transition, where the old door is closing and a new door is opening. You have walked through a season of sowing and tears, but now comes the season of reaping and joy. Each step you take is leaving behind barren ground and entering into lush green pastures. I am the one who leads you, and I will not bring you halfway, only to abandon you. This journey is marked by my faithfulness, and every step you take will bear the imprint of my power, my beloved. I want you to understand that when I open a new season, you cannot carry with you the old burdens. I am removing from you the chains of the past, the painful memories, and the ties that once drained your strength. Not everything that once walked with you will accompany you into this new chapter. I am cleansing, I am sifting, so that your load becomes lighter and you may walk in freedom without hindrance. This is not loss, but purification. It is not lack, but preparation for fullness. I know there have been moments when you hesitated, fearing that the old trials would repeat themselves. But be at peace, for this time you are not walking by your own strength, but under the direct covering of heaven. You will see a clear difference. The doors that open will no longer be illusions, but true paths that lead to life. The people I bring into your life will no longer be those who wound you, but co-laborers who bring support and encouragement. The dreams I awaken within you will no longer remain unfinished, but will come to completion at the appointed time. Believe that when I speak, everything aligns. You will not need to force the doors open with your own effort, for I am the one who holds the keys. When I open, no one can shut. When I shut, no one can open. My intervention is your assurance that you are not lost, nor forsaken along the way. You will see my presence not only in obvious miracles, but in the smallest details of daily life. A chance encounter, a gentle word, a shift that seemed random, all are signs that I am orchestrating everything. My beloved, I want you to enter this season with boldness. Cast aside timidity, for I have not placed you here to tremble, but to be strong. Lift up your voice in praise, for when you worship, walls come down. Dare to step forward, for only as you walk will the path unfold. My guidance does not always reveal the entire road from beginning to end, but like a lamp to your feet, the light will shine as you take each step. It is through trust that you will discover the abundance of my grace. Do not fear when you see storms lingering around you. The presence of wind does not mean you are about to sink. It is proof that you are passing through the land I am clearing. The tempest is only the prelude to the establishment of true peace. Fear is but a deception meant to obscure the reality that the armies of heaven are already in position and my reign is manifest. When you fix your eyes on me instead of the waves, you will see your feet standing firm. Engrave this truth upon your heart. This is the moment I transform your vision. You are no longer bound by old limitations, but called to see with spiritual eyes. Instead of obstacles, you will see opportunities. Instead of wilderness, you will see a path. Instead of failure, you will see my hand opening victory. I want you to live in the awareness that I am the living God, unrestricted by time or circumstance, and your very life will become a testimony. Those who thought you would fall will have to acknowledge that a supernatural power is lifting you. Those who once despised you will witness your rising as proof that I have never forgotten. The change within you will be undeniable, for it does not come from human skill or effort, but from divine power. My beloved, offer me gratitude even before you see everything fulfilled. Thanksgiving is the key that unlocks the treasures not yet revealed. When you lift up praise, the darkness loses its hold. When you maintain a heart of gratitude, doubt will find no place. This is how you prepare the ground for the seeds I plant to bear fruit. And that fruit will not be for you alone, but for many others, to share in its blessing. Therefore, do not turn back, and do not grieve over what has passed. The past no longer defines you. The present cannot confine you, and the future has already been secured by my steadfast promise. Walk forward with courage, for I have gone before you to prepare the way. Stand firm, for I am the unshakable foundation. Lift up your eyes, for your deliverance comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. As you enter the new season, I have prepared what I desire is not only peace and blessing for you alone, but that your life would be offered as a flowing stream to many others. You were not saved merely to enjoy safety, but to become a living sign of my presence among humanity. I have filled your soul with love, healed your wounds, and lifted you out of the ashes, not for you to keep to yourself, but so you might become a vessel of grace to a world thirsting for hope. My beloved, remember that light finds its true meaning when it shines in the darkness. A lamp is not hidden under a table, but set on a stand to give light to the whole house. In the same way, I do not want you to hide the transformation that has taken place within you, nor to remain silent about what I have done. Your voice, your story, and even the tears that have long since dried will become a testimony for others walking the same road. The restoration in you will awaken faith in them, so they too may know that I can do the same for their lives. Look around you and see how many souls are crying out in silence. There are those who force a smile, though their hearts are broken, and others who are standing on the very edge of despair. I allowed you to experience the night, so that now you may testify of the light. I permitted you to pass through suffering, not to destroy you, but so you might have compassion and strength to lift up those who are lost. My love will be revealed not only through the words you speak, but through every gesture, every act, every glance filled with compassion. Do not think of yourself as small or powerless. In my hands you are a mighty instrument. A single heartfelt prayer from your lips can move the heavens. A simple act of kindness from you can alter the destiny of a soul. A word of testimony from you can spark the flame of faith in one whose heart has grown cold. It is through your humility and obedience that I will release a power not of human origin. What you must concern yourself with is not whether you are enough, but to believe that I am enough for you and for all whom you will encounter. My beloved, I long for you to learn to walk in unity with me each day. This is not merely reciting prayers, but listening to the rhythm of my heart and letting your steps follow. When I nudge you forward, obey. When I hold you back, stop. As you choose to live in that rhythm, your life will no longer be a series of lonely efforts, but a wondrous partnership with limitless power. This is how you will become an instrument in my hand, not by your own strength, but through intimate connection with the one who created you. And remember, you are not alone in this calling. I am raising up an army of the Spirit, men and women touched by me across the earth. Each will carry a flame, and together the heavens will blaze with light. You are part of this great design. As you walk in obedience, your flame will ignite others, and together they will form a movement no force can extinguish. Through this, the world will know that I am the one who is still at work. I also want you to understand that this unity does not stop at the relationship between me and you, but it extends into the connection between you and your brothers and sisters in the faith. When you love and uphold one another, when you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, when you worship together, unity becomes the doorway that opens to a new wave of blessings. I have never called you to live in isolation, but to be joined into a greater body, where each person carries both purpose and worth. My beloved, prepare your heart, for I will broaden your influence. At first, you may think you are only sharing a small story, but I will use it to reach places you never imagined. A single prayer of yours can cross borders. A simple act of kindness can plant seeds in the heart of a stranger, and even the smallest obedience can spark a chain of miracles. When you place everything into my hands, nothing is insignificant, for I can turn the small into the great, and the ordinary into the extraordinary. Keep your heart tender and your ears attentive. I will speak in many ways through my word, through dreams, through those I send, and even through events that may appear random. Do not disregard any sign, for each detail may carry my guidance. I am not a distant God. I am the one who walks with you. And as you walk in this fellowship, you will see each day take on new meaning, each step becoming part of my eternal plan. Therefore, be courageous and step into this season of unity. Do not fear that you will lose your way, for I am your keeper. Do not fear being forgotten, for I am the one who always remembers. Do not fear insufficiency, for I am your fullness. Let your life become a song of praise, a living testimony, a sacred vessel through which I will pour my light into many souls. And as you do so, you will realize that not only the world is being transformed, but you yourself are being continually changed to bear my image more fully. As you continue on the path I have set before you, you will learn that victory is not a fleeting moment, but a lasting process. Each step you take, each decision you make, each moment you persist in obedience is building a foundation that cannot be shaken. This is not merely a victory for today, but one that stretches into the future. I do not give you results that vanish quickly, but I grant you an enduring inheritance, so that through you generations yet to come will be blessed. My beloved, true victory is not only revealed when the enemy is defeated, but when your spirit is shaped, so that it no longer returns to old places of bondage. I want you to stand firm, unmoved by temptation, unwavering in trial, unafraid of darkness. Once you have tasted true freedom, hold fast to it, and do not allow any chain to bind you again. I have placed within you the strength to resist, breathed into you the endurance to persevere, and forged you in the fire of trials, so that now you stand as a steadfast warrior. Do not think that the journey will be without storms, but trust that in every storm you will not be as before, trembling, collapsing, or despairing. Now you will know how to rise in the strength I provide. You will discover that even when tempests rage, my hand still holds you firmly. And it is in the midst of storms that my light shines most clearly. What the enemy intended to destroy you will become the very platform that lifts you higher, makes you stronger, and grows you into maturity. Look back at the old wounds I have healed. They are no longer signs of pain, but proof of triumph. Each scar is a testimony, each dried tear a song of praise. You will see that what was once your deepest weakness has now become the place where my greatest power is displayed. This is the reversal. I have promised a lasting victory that no one can take away. The endurance of victory also means that you do not live for yourself alone, but for the generations that follow. Every act of obedience, every step of trust you take today is planting seeds for your descendants. You are not merely writing your own story, but opening a path for others to walk upon. The legacy you leave is not a fleeting possession, but a spiritual inheritance, an unshakable faith, a steadfast love, and an unfading hope. My beloved child, I want you to picture your life as a great tree. It begins as a small seed buried in the darkness of the soil. Yet over time, through rain and sunshine, through storms and winds, it grows. Its roots go deep, its trunk rises tall, its branches spread wide to offer shade. Generations of birds will find shelter there, and many will rest beneath its canopy. You are that tree. Your steadfastness will not only sustain you, but will also nourish countless other souls. Remember that the victory you are experiencing is not achieved by your own strength, but by my grace. I am the one who began the good work in you, and I will bring it to completion until the very end. When you feel weak, remember that my strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you feel insufficient, know that I am more than enough. It is your dependence on me that ensures your victory will remain enduring. I also want you to remember that this victory is not given so that you may become proud, but so that you may walk in greater humility. For when you realize that everything comes from me, your heart will overflow with gratitude. Bow in reverence and return all glory to the one who has accomplished it all. When you walk in humility, I will lift you up. When you keep a tender heart, I will pour out unending blessings. And it is this very humility that becomes the key to preserving lasting victory. On this journey, there will be times when you do not see immediate results, yet trust that every seed you plant, every prayer you lift up, every step you take in obedience is remembered by me. Though hidden beneath the soil for a season, at the appointed time they will sprout and bear fruit. And when the harvest comes, it will not only be sufficient for you, but abundant enough to sustain many others. My beloved, engrave this truth upon your heart. Your victory is not a single chapter, but an ongoing stream. It begins with grace, is sustained by faith, and is strengthened through perseverance. It does not end when you think you have reached the goal, but continues through generations until every promise I have spoken is fully fulfilled. Therefore, take courage. Do not let accusations shake you. Do not allow trials to discourage you. Do not permit temporary failures to steal your hope. I ordained your victory before you were ever born, and no power, no scheme, no trap can prevent it. The victory you receive is enduring, eternal, and sealed by my very presence in your life. When your journey reaches its conclusion, I want you to look back and see the grand tapestry I have woven in your life. From the days you thought you were lost to the moments when you stood firm, all has been part of my gracious design. Not a single tear fell in vain. Not a single prayer vanished into emptiness. Not a single step was outside my providence. All has become a testimony to my steadfast love, my unchanging faithfulness, and my unstoppable power. Now you will realize that your story does not belong to you alone, but to countless others who need to witness a living testimony. Every step you take is a message. Every victory you experience is a song of encouragement. What once seemed to bury you in darkness has become a light guiding others. You will see many find hope through the way you stand firm, find faith through the way you persevere, and find freedom through the way you live in victory. And in this way, you are not only rescued for yourself, but you become an instrument of rescue for many other souls. Above all, you will come to know that all glory does not belong to you, but to the one who began and completed the journey. You do not need to carry the burden of proving yourself, for your transformed life itself is the most powerful testimony. When others look at you, they will not only see you, but they will see the imprint of the Creator, the work of the Redeemer, and the mark of inexhaustible grace. This will stir the nations to give praise, open hearts that were once closed, and allow those who are searching to find the true source of hope. My beloved child, I want you to step into this new season, not with hesitation, but with confidence in me. Not confidence because you are fully prepared, but because I have already arranged everything. Not confidence because you hold the future, but because I am the one who holds it. And when you entrust everything into my hands, you will see doors opening in miraculous ways, obstacles collapsing on their own, and limitations disappearing as if they never existed. Remember, I have not called you merely to survive, but to live abundantly. I want you to experience life beyond expectation, peace that no one can take away, and joy that is not bound by circumstances. This is the fullness I promised, the living stream that never runs dry, the perfection of grace. You will no longer return to days of mere endurance, for you have entered a new season, a new chapter, where blessings and victories are woven together into a song of praise. I also want you to know that the end of this journey is only the beginning of another far greater one. What you experience today is only a shadow of the glory to come. One day, when the curtain of time is drawn, when this world passes away, you will stand before the throne of glory. In that moment, suffering will be no more. Every tear will be wiped away, and all sorrow will vanish. You will enter eternal life, where there is no darkness, where I, myself, am the light that shines forever. And you will hear these words, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord." While you still live on this earth, consider each day an opportunity to sow spiritual seeds. Do not hesitate to love. Do not delay to forgive. Do not hold back kindness. For all of these will be recorded and will form a crown of glory for you in the final day. You will never regret living for me, for everything you offer will be exchanged for a reward that will never fade away. My beloved, I want you to finish this journey in perfect peace. Let your heart overflow with joy, knowing that you have walked the right path, followed my guidance, and lived under my covering. Let your spirit be filled with hope, knowing that what lies ahead is brighter than what lies behind. Let your life become an unending song of thanksgiving, for my presence will always remain with you. And when you leave this world, what remains will not be material achievements, but a spiritual legacy. It will be the souls you have touched, the lives that have been changed, and the generations that continue in faith. You will leave behind an eternal inheritance, a light that never goes out, and a resounding echo of praise throughout the ages. That is the greatest reward, the most enduring glory, the holiest legacy you could ever pass on. My beloved child, there may be times when you think the journey has reached its end, that everything to be heard, seen, and experienced has already been revealed. But I want you to understand that my work never ceases. I am the beginning and the end, yet between the beginning and the end flows an unending stream of creation, transformation, and daily renewal. That is why what you think is the conclusion is in fact only a threshold leading you into another chapter where you will continue to experience abundant life and limitless grace. I did not create you to come to a halt and then fade away. I created you to continually rise, to grow in understanding, to strengthen in faith. I have placed within you the seed of eternity, so that even while you dwell in this finite body, your soul carries an unquenchable longing for something deeper and greater. That is why you often feel a stirring within a calling beyond your present limits. It is my whisper urging you to press forward, to seek more, to experience more, to live more fully. My beloved child, I have trained you through each season of hardship, not merely so that you might endure, but so that you might grow in wisdom. I have allowed you to pass through trials not to see you fall, but to teach you how to rely on strength that comes from above. I have let you face moments when it seemed as though you had lost everything, so that you would discover the most precious treasure is not found in wealth, fame, or power, but in my very presence. And now, since you have come to understand that I am the inheritance that never fades, you are ready to be entrusted with greater things. Remember, I never waste your experiences. Every tear, every wound, every disappointment has become precious in my hands. They have not only softened your heart but also shaped you into an instrument of comfort for others. I destined you not merely to live for yourself, but to become a source of encouragement, a fountain of hope, a vessel of consolation for many. The scars upon your soul will tell a powerful story of healing. The marks of the battles you have endured will stand as evidence that victory is real, that deliverance is not an empty promise, but a living reality. This is why I continue to call you to step out further. Not simply so you may gain more experience, but so you may become a bearer of light in places of deep darkness. I did not form you to remain a witness within a small circle, but for your life to reflect my glory before the nations. When you walk boldly in faith, others will see and be drawn nearer to the source of life. When you live with gratitude and joy, those still wandering will find hope through you. In this way, you become part of my great plan to restore this world. I want you to understand that your mission does not end with being rescued. It continues in becoming a witness. You were lifted out of the pit not to remain silent, but to tell those still sinking that salvation is real. Your eyes were opened not to keep the light for yourself, but to illuminate the path for those still blind. Your chains were broken not so you could revel in freedom alone, but so you could open the doors for souls still imprisoned. Think of those who have never heard my name, those who have never encountered true love, those who still live under fear and darkness. They are waiting for a living testimony, and you are the answer to that longing. Do not think you are too small, for I often use what is small to accomplish what is great. Do not think you are lacking, for it is in weakness that my power is made perfect. What I require of you is not perfection, but willingness. And when you are willing, I will do the rest. I have prepared new doors for you. There are connections, I will arrange paths. I will open territories your feet have never touched, where I will lead you. Walk with an open heart, for I will show you that the map in your hands can never capture the fullness of my plan. Walk with eyes of faith, for many things will not be visible to the natural eye. And walk with a thankful spirit, for every step will become a song of praise. My beloved child, I call you not so that you may hold all the answers, but so that you may learn to trust me in each step. I want you to realize that this journey is not a burden, but a privilege. Not everyone is given the chance to carry light, but I have chosen you for a special mission. This is not because you are more deserving, but because my grace has covered you. And that same grace will continue to uphold you, whether you pass through valleys, climb mountains, or face trials of any kind. Take hold of this truth: you are not walking alone, for I walk with you. I do not send you into battle to fend for yourself. I go before you to prepare the way. I do not abandon you to the storms. I am the one who commands the winds and calms the seas. Everything I call you to do, I myself will give you the strength to accomplish. Everywhere I call you to go, I myself will walk beside you. And every burden I place upon your shoulders, I will also carry with you. This new journey is not merely the continuation of a story, but an expansion into dimensions you have never imagined. I will make your life a testimony that my love knows no boundaries, that my power has no limits, and that my faithfulness will never fade. Through this, not only one person but generations to come will be blessed. My beloved, I want you to understand that the calling I have placed upon your life is not a passing invitation but a lasting commission. Many think grace is only a comfort in times of weakness, but in truth, grace is also the strength to stand firm, to move forward, and to carry burdens far beyond natural ability. It was grace that kept you through the storms, and it is that very grace which now grants you the authority to become my voice, my light, and my instrument. There are things I have hidden within you for many years. They are like seeds lying dormant in the soil, waiting for the appointed time to rise. What you once thought were fleeting dreams, what you once dismissed as passing thoughts, are in fact promises I sowed into your soul. Now I breathe life into them, so they may awaken, take root, and bear fruit. You will find yourself speaking words of encouragement you never prepared, your hands entrusted with tasks that once seemed far beyond your reach, and your heart burning with passion for things you once overlooked. These are the signs that the seeds have ripened and the harvest has come. Do not be afraid when you find yourself drawn into new circumstances, into territories where your feet have never stepped. I know you worry because you feel inexperienced, but remember this: I did not choose you for the abundance of your skills, but for the willingness of your heart. When you say, "Here I am, Lord," that is the moment I open doors you could never unlock on your own. When you confess, "I am not enough," it is then I declare, "My grace is sufficient for you." It is the very lack within you that makes room for my power to be revealed. Therefore, do not seek assurance in people or systems, but seek it in me, for I am the one who never changes. You have spent years learning how to stand firm, but now I want you to learn how to lead. You have grown accustomed to waiting for encouragement from others, but now I want you to become the source of encouragement. You once looked around for someone to lift you up, but now I give you the strength to lift others. This is not a new burden, but the reward for your faithfulness in the days of small beginnings. He who is faithful in little will be entrusted with much, and you are the one I have found faithful. Look back at the days when you thought you had no strength left to continue, and yet you still walked on. That perseverance is the proof to the world that I live and I act. The world may admire dazzling victories, but I treasure each quiet step of endurance you took when no one was watching. Each time you chose to trust me, instead of giving up, each time you whispered a prayer without receiving an immediate answer. All of it rose as a fragrance before my throne. Now I desire to turn those very moments of perseverance into strength for you to bear witness to many. Believe that not one step of yours has been in vain. When you speak a word of comfort to the broken-hearted, it is not merely a small gesture, but the planting of a seed of hope. When you love someone with patience, even when they do not return it, you are making my love visible. When you remain faithful in daily work, you are declaring that my faithfulness endures. Every act that seems ordinary in your life is part of the symphony I am composing, a song that resounds even into the heavens. My beloved, remember this: I do not only want you to tell of what I have done for you, I want you to become a living testimony. This world is weary of empty theories and words without weight. They do not need more philosophy, they need living proof. And you are that proof. When they look at your life, they will see that forgiveness is real, healing is real, and transformation is real. You need not strive to argue with eloquent words. Simply let my light shine through you, and that light will scatter every shadow of doubt. Remember that I have not only called you to step out to serve others, but also to be filled yourself along the journey. Each time you pour into someone else, I pour fullness into your soul. Whenever you help another rise, you will find yourself being lifted higher. Each act of giving does not diminish you. It enlarges your capacity to receive more from me. This is the law of the kingdom: those who sow will reap. Those who give will be given. Those who sacrifice will be repaid. You will discover that no devotion is ever wasted, no drop of sweat falls unnoticed, and no surrender goes unrewarded without being returned to you many times over. Do not forget that trials will still come, for I never promised the road would be smooth. Yet I did promise that every trial would make you stronger. When the storm rises, remember that I am the one who commands the wind and the waves. When the enemy schemes, remember that I am the one who turns their plans into opportunities for my glory. When darkness believes it has won, remember that I am the light that never fades. Therefore, hold your heart firm and unshaken, for steadfastness in trial is the most powerful testimony to my might. Walk with the confidence that you are not merely a survivor, but a victor. You are not simply a recipient of mercy, but a bearer of mission. You are not only redeemed, but also sent forth. And you do not live for today alone, but you leave behind a legacy for generations to come. I will make your life a beacon, so that when the young who wander look up, they will find direction. I will make your story a song, so that when the hopeless hear, they will recover their hope. And I will use you as a sign, so that the world may know that God still acts, still saves, and still loves. My beloved child, understand that the victory I have promised is not merely an escape from immediate hardships, but a transformation at the very root, an overturning of the entire landscape of your life. The enemy once thought it could lock you forever in a cycle of defeat, but I have shattered the gates of captivity. I have not only opened a way out, but I have led you into a vast land where you may walk in freedom, in power, and in the fullness I ordained for you from the beginning. From this day forward, you will no longer see yourself through the lens of wounds, but through the gaze of the one who called you by name, redeemed you with blood, and placed upon you a new name. There are chapters in your life you once wished to erase, yet I have woven them into treasures within your story. Tears no longer mark weakness, but stand as proof of a strength beyond human understanding. Scars are no longer symbols of damage, but living testimonies of healing. Every pain, every wound, every stumble, each has become evidence that my hand intervened, that my love prevailed, that my power remained unchanged. You will see that what once brought you shame will now resound as the clearest witness to my faithfulness. My child, I am turning your life into a sign through which many will find hope. When they see you walk in peace amid the storm, they will long for the one on whom you lean. When they see you stand unbroken under pressure, they will wonder from where such strength comes. When they hear the testimony you tell, they will realize that if I could do this for you, then surely I can do the same for them. This is your calling to become a doorway for the thirsty souls, a stream of water for the dry-hearted, and a flame of light for those groping through the night. Remember this: I have not called you to live in fear of what is to come, but to walk in the assurance that your future rests in my hands. The world may shift, systems may falter, and people may betray, yet I remain steadfast and unchanging. I have ordained for you a future filled with hope, and no power can erase what I have set in place. Therefore, do not let accusations or the noise of the world unsettle your heart. Do not let temporary losses cause you to doubt my eternal faithfulness. Stand firm, for I am working beyond what your eyes can perceive. You will come to see that in the very days you thought were dead ends, I was writing new beginnings. In the places you believed were endings, I was planting seeds for resurrection. The very schemes the enemy designed to destroy you, I have turned into stepping stones to lift you higher. Just as Joseph was sold into slavery yet rose to become a ruler in a foreign land, so will you witness how every wicked plan is reversed by my hand for your good. And when you look back, you will declare, all things work together for the good of those who love him. My beloved child, know this: the legacy I am shaping within you is not merely for today, but for generations to come. Your prayers are not confined to your own life. They ripple outward, touching your children, your family, and even those you may never meet. Each act of faithfulness, each moment you choose, obedience lays a foundation for a future beyond what you can see. Just as a gardener plants a tree knowing its shade will cover the generations after him, you are sowing a spiritual inheritance that will outlast time. Do not think of yourself as too small or insignificant to make an impact. You were created in the image of the Almighty, and anyone who bears his image carries the power to transform the world around them. When you pray, heaven is moved. When you trust, darkness trembles. When you walk in, love chains are shattered. And when you dare to stand firm in truth, entire generations are brought into the light. Therefore, walk forward with confidence, not in your own ability, but in the authority of the one who has sent you. Let your life itself become a song of worship, not only with melodies on your lips, but with every action, every choice, every step you take. When you forgive those who have wronged you, that is a song of worship. When you persevere in righteousness, that is a hymn rising to heaven. When you choose love over bitterness, you are releasing a divine anthem that the hosts of heaven join in chorus. And all of heaven rejoices to see a faithful heart shining brightly in the midst of earthly darkness. Beloved child, remember that I am with you until the very end. Wherever you go, whatever you face, no matter how you feel, I will never forsake you. I am the one who holds your hand, the one who wipes away your tears, the one who lifts you when you fall. And when you reach the end of the road, you will hear my voice saying, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord." That day will be your reward, but even now you are tasting the joy of walking with me. Therefore, my child, walk in steadfastness. Do not look back with regret, nor look ahead with anxiety. Fix your eyes on the present with trust, for I am here in this very moment, doing a new thing in you. Let my joy fill your heart, let my peace guard your mind, and let my love flow through you to touch many lives. And remember this, you are not only one who has been saved, but one who has been sent. You are not only a receiver, but also a giver. You are not only one who is loved, but also one who carries love. And you are not merely a small story, but a part of the great plan of the one who created the universe. Your life holds infinite value, and you will see yourself become living evidence that God is alive, still at work, and still loving humanity forevermore. My beloved child, know that you are stepping onto a significant threshold where all that is old is closing and an entirely new chapter is opening. I will not allow you to stop midway, for you are destined to go further, rise higher, and go deeper in the knowledge of me. Remember that I am the beginning and I am also the completion. What I have sown into you will never wither along the way, but will surely blossom and bear fruit in its appointed season. What you thought was lost, decayed, or worthless is in fact a seed waiting for the day to sprout in the good soil I have prepared. In the days when everything around you feels chaotic, remember that I am the God of order. When you feel as though you are drifting in a boundless sea, know that it is my hand holding the helm. You are not aimlessly adrift, but being precisely guided to the harbor of peace. The enemy may stir up fierce waves to frighten you, but it cannot alter the destination I have set. And right in the heart of the storm, I give you a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. You must understand that this new season is not simply a change of circumstances, but a transformation within your very soul. I am removing from you old ways of thinking, old patterns and habits that once held you captive. I did not create you to remain forever in cycles of fear, anxiety, or shame. You were created to reflect the image of the Creator, to carry the breath of life, to become a river that flows out blessings to many. Therefore, allow me to prune away the excess, to purify the remnants of the old, and to pour into you the freshness that comes from heaven. You may see separations take place, relationships that no longer walk alongside you, doors that once seemed important suddenly closing. But do not let your heart be shaken. This pruning is not to leave you empty, but to make room for what is greater, purer, and more enduring. I am the gardener, and I know exactly which branches must remain and which must be cut away so that the tree may bear more fruit. If you cling to what I am removing, you will only slow your own progress. But if you release, you will see fruitfulness in abundance, more than you could imagine. Take note, I do not only desire to change the environment around you, but to transform the way you see. Many times you think blessing only comes when everything is easy, but in truth, blessing is also found within each trial. Many times you think victory means defeating an enemy, but I want you to understand that the greatest victory is when your heart remains at peace in the midst of chaos. Victory is not merely an outward result, but an inner maturity, where you learn to trust me in all things. Remember the times I have rescued you in the past. They are not just old stories to be retold, but foundations upon which your faith stands today. Just as David once recalled when facing Goliath, "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." In the same way, look back and see that the one who freed you from former chains is the very one now leading you into a new season. And I do not change. I remain the faithful God from generation to generation. Know this, my child. My presence does not come merely to sustain you in moments of weakness, but to endow you with power. I do not only soothe your wounds, I also grant you the strength to stand firm. I do not simply break chains. I place within you the authority to never be bound again. You are no longer a victim but a conqueror. You no longer bow your head in shame but lift it high in the glory of the one who has called you. And as you walk in this new awareness, the whole world will see the difference within you. Prepare your heart, my child, for I am bringing you into a season where clarity will burst forth. What was once blurred will come into focused dreams. Once abandoned will be revived, and visions once thought lost will rise again with greater power than ever before. You will witness how I arrange each fragment of your life until they all unite to form a complete, beautiful, and meaningful picture. And then you will know that no tear, no step, and no trial has ever been in vain. Everything is working together for the good purpose I have already ordained. Do not fear that you will miss out. I am the one who holds time, and I am never late. No scheme of the enemy can thwart what I have determined. No delay that you perceive can cause me to arrive behind schedule. I come at the appointed time, and I will not overlook a single detail of your life. All I ask is that you remain faithful, walking step by step with me, and you will see all things align in perfect order beyond your imagination. Therefore, open your heart to embrace this new season. Do not carry the heavy baggage of the past with you. Allow me to lift the burdens off your shoulders and clothe you with a new garment, the garment of righteousness, joy, and peace. Let me replace mourning with dancing ashes, with a crown of glory, and despair with renewed vision. Understand this, my child, every step you take in this season is not by chance. Even the disruptions that seem to shake you are woven into my intricate plan. I am not a distant observer. I am the one who intervenes, arranges, and adjusts. What you perceive as delay is in fact preparation, so that when you step forward, you do not do so in haste, but in maturity. Do not despise the process, for every day you pass through is an essential part of shaping you into the person I desire you to become. Remember, not everything that comes into your life is a blessing, and not everything taken away is a loss. There are things I remove in order to protect you, for I see the dangers that your eyes have yet to perceive. There are relationships you thought were strong, yet I know they are burdens that keep you from rising higher. There are doors you wanted to force open, but I closed them to keep you from straying off course. Trust that the pruning you are experiencing is not meant to leave you empty, but to prepare room that will be filled with my goodness. Never think, my child, that silence means I have withdrawn. On the contrary, it is in the stillness that I speak most profoundly to your soul in ways that noise could never convey. It is then that I plant new ideas, ignite vision, and etch my eternal promises into your heart. Do not fear when you find yourself separated from familiar circles, for at times I must lead you into the wilderness so that you can hear my voice most clearly. It is in the desolate places that I provide manna from heaven. It is in the lack that I reveal my power to provide. And it is in the darkest night that I cause the light to shine forth brighter than ever before. Remember the Israelites when they left Egypt. They did not enter the promised land immediately, but walked through a long journey in the wilderness. That was not a detour, but a school where they learned to trust me. In the same way, the winding roads you are walking are not meant to waste your time, but to train you so that when you enter the new land, you will not only possess it, but also have the wisdom to steward it. The present trials are preparation for future glory. My child, be careful not to let bitterness take root when you see others moving faster or appearing more successful. Each person has a different path, and your timing cannot be measured by theirs. What I have written for your life is unique. I do not compare you to anyone, and you must not let your heart be swayed by the standards of this world. Fix your eyes on me, for I am the only standard, the shepherd who leads, and the one who is good. When you see the old things falling away, take a deep breath and trust that renewal is on its way. Just as a tree must shed its old leaves to make room for new buds, you must let go of the past so that the future can flourish. Do not fear these departures, for they are not signs of loss, but beginnings of abundance. The vine cannot bear fruit unless it is pruned, and so it is with your life. Without cutting away, there can be no overflow. You must also learn to discern my voice among the countless echoes around you. My voice never forces, never pressures, but brings deep peace. My voice does not stir up fear, but awakens courage. If a voice brings despair, condemns without hope, that voice is not from me. I am the one who calls, who encourages, who shows the way. When I speak, you will know, because your soul will find rest. Beloved, I am training your spiritual eyes to see beyond the surface. You will learn to recognize my hand even in the smallest details. You will understand that nothing happens by chance, but everything contributes to a greater story. You will see that the people you meet, the opportunities you receive, even the trials you face, these are all pieces I am arranging. And when the picture is revealed, you will marvel at its precision and beauty. So do not only look for immediate rescue, but prepare for lasting transformation. I do not only want to lift your burden, but to teach you how to walk lightly through every season. I do not only want to break chains, but to equip you with authority, so you will never be bound again. I do not only want you to taste a miracle, but to become a miracle for others. Engrave this truth in your heart: I do not make mistakes. I am never late. Everything I do carries eternal weight and is filled with love. All you must do is remain faithful and never leave my hand, and surely you will see my faithfulness unfold in your life. And when that happens, you will not only rejoice for yourself, but you will become a living testimony so that many others may be encouraged, lifted up, and drawn closer to me. My beloved child, let your heart be steadfast in this assurance: I am the beginning and I am the end. Everything I have begun in your life will never be abandoned midway. When I sowed the seed of hope, I also determined the season of harvest. When I placed within your heart those spiritual dreams, I also prepared the pathways for their fulfillment. All you need to do is walk patiently in the light each day, not allowing impatience to drive you ahead of me, nor fear to pull you back into the past. For I am the one who sets the rhythm of your steps, and I will never allow you to fall out of harmony with the cadence of heaven. My child, it is time for you to understand that this journey is not only about you, but about the many lives that will be touched through your story. You are being shaped not only to overcome, but to become a testimony. The pain you once carried will be transformed into a song of encouragement for others. The wounds that once made you tremble will stand as living proof that my healing is real. And every tear you have shed will become a seed planted, which one day will spring forth into overflowing joy, not only for you, but for the community around you. I want you to look beyond what your eyes can see. When you see a door closing, believe that another is opening, wider, brighter, aligned with the vision I have ordained. When you see a relationship fall apart, trust that I am bringing new people into your life, people who will walk with you in truth, in love, and in sacred mission. When you feel you have lost something, Know that I am only removing what no longer fits to prepare you for what is greater and enduring. My dear child, do not be afraid when everything in your life seems to change rapidly. Change is not meant to unsettle you, but to deliver you from false securities. If you cling to the old, you will not be able to grasp the new that I am giving you. Just as the Israelites had to leave Egypt to reach the promised land, you too must leave behind habits, relationships, and patterns that once held you in spiritual bondage. And believe that in every step I will be the fire by night and the cloud by day, leading you along the path I have prepared. My child, when I declare, a new season has come, it means that the old chains no longer hold power over you. What once bound you can no longer hinder your progress. The accusations, the voices of denial, the painful memories, all have been consumed by my light. You no longer need to live under the shadow of the past, for I have made all things new. I have removed the garment of mourning and clothed you with the robe of praise. I have turned ashes of sorrow into a crown of glory, and you shall walk as one who has been set free, no longer captive to the unseen darkness. Prepare your heart, my child, for even greater things. What you see today is only the beginning. Like a tender sprout that is yet to reveal the fullness of the great tree, it will become what I am beginning in your life is only the first step toward an abundant season to come. I will lead you into territories you have never set foot on before. I will set before you open doors leading to opportunities beyond your imagination. But remember this, the purpose of it all is not merely to lift you up, but so that through you, my name will be glorified and many others will be saved, strengthened, and restored. Beloved child, when you are weary and wonder if you can go on, remember that I am your strength. When you tremble and fear you might fall, know that it is my hand that upholds you. When the path ahead looks dim, trust that I am the light guiding your steps. Do not let fear blur the vision I have placed within your heart. Do not let the voices of denial cause you to forget my promises. For my word is true, and once I have spoken, it shall never return void, but will accomplish all that I have purposed. Therefore, my child, stand firm. Do not retreat. Do not give up. For the season of breakthrough has drawn nearer than ever before. You are about to see your long-awaited prayers answered. You are about to witness walls falling down, chains being broken, and doors being opened. You are about to step into a new space where my presence surrounds you, where my grace flows like a river, and where you will sing a new song. And as you sing, heaven and earth will join in harmony, for your victory is the very revelation of my glory. Let this final word be engraved upon your heart: you are never alone. I have been with you from the beginning, and I will be with you until the very end. Nothing, neither death nor life, neither angels nor powers, neither the present nor the future can separate you from my love. You are mine, chosen, called, and commissioned. And when your journey is complete, you will see that every step, every tear, every smile, every triumph, all have blended into one single song, the song of unfailing love, the love that flows from me, the living God. My beloved child, listen carefully, for now I am calling you into a new season, a new chapter, a journey that was prepared before you were even formed in your mother's womb. It is no accident that you are here in this very moment amid the upheavals that seem to shake every foundation. Everything has been ordained so that you may know that I am the one who holds authority over time, space, and even your destiny. I want you to understand that the days behind you were not meaningless trials, but a spiritual school where your faith was refined, so that today you are strong enough to step into the season of fulfillment. Do not think, my child, that you are here merely to live an ordinary life blending into the aimless flow of the world. You were created for a greater purpose, for a story of spiritual impact. I have engraved your name on the palms of my hands, and every detail of your life rests under my careful watch. You may have thought that you were forgotten, that your prayers vanished into nothingness, but today I affirm to you not a single word of yours has fallen to the ground unnoticed. Not a single cry has disappeared without reaching heaven. And in the time I have appointed, all those petitions are being gathered into a mighty river of blessings that will pour out upon your life. Remember, this faith is not born in peaceful days, but in long nights of darkness when you cannot see the way, when all you can do is hold tightly to me. It is in the darkness that my light shines more clearly. It is in the storm that you sense my covering more deeply. And it is in loss that you discover the true worth of what I give. That is why I have allowed you to pass through fire, through waters, through long nights, not to destroy you, but to prove that the fire cannot consume you, the waters cannot drown you, and the darkness cannot swallow your soul. You are still here because my hand has shielded you. So, my child, open your heart to embrace the change that is coming. What you call collapse is in truth a cleansing. What you see as loss is in reality a release. You cannot carry old burdens into a new season. I am removing every cord that once held you back, so that you may run unhindered, so that you may soar without being pulled down. Do not cling to what I am taking away, for all of it is only preparation for what is greater. Just as a potter shatters the old form to create a perfect vessel, I too am reshaping you so that your life may become an instrument worthy of my glory. My beloved child, I want you to know that the calling upon your life is not limited by your past. The wounds, the mistakes, and the times you stumbled cannot erase the plan I have written for you. On the contrary, they become the strongest testimony of my power to restore. When others look at you, they will see not that you rose by your own strength, but that I lifted you up. They will see not that you found your own escape, but that I opened the way. And your very life will shine as a beacon for many wandering souls, so that they may know God is still moving in this world. Therefore, my child, take heart. Place your hand upon your chest and remind yourself that you belong to me, and nothing can snatch you from my hand. Remember that this calling is not for the perfect, but for the willing. I do not seek those who are mighty in the eyes of the world. I choose the weak, that through them my power may be revealed. You do not need to prove yourself worthy. It is my love that makes you worthy. You do not need to fear failure, for even in failure, I can turn it into the foundation for a greater victory. My child, prepare yourself. I am opening new doors. You will step into territories you have never walked before, meet people I have chosen to walk alongside you, and witness miracles that only faith can explain. Yet I remind you, guard your heart with humility. Do not let victory cause you to forget its source. Do not let the light draw you away from the giver of light. Always remember, everything in your life exists to glorify my name, not to glorify you. When you keep your heart pure, I will cause the flow of blessings never to cease upon you. And here is my final promise in this word. My beloved child, you will never be left behind. I will go before you to prepare the way. I will go behind you to protect, and I will walk beside you to accompany. You will see my presence in every detail, from the great and mighty to the smallest and hidden. And when you look back, you will realize that every step has been marked by an unfailing love, the love that has held you from the beginning until the end. My beloved child, I want you to understand that you will not reach the end of this journey weary or broken, but you will enter the completion with joy and glory. I did not set you to run a race only to collapse at the finish line. On the contrary, I have prepared for you to surge forward with renewed strength, so that when you cross the line, not only will you rejoice, but all of heaven will rejoice with you. What I have begun in you, I will surely bring to completion, for I never leave anything unfinished. You must understand this. My faithfulness is not dependent on circumstances. It does not shift with the seasons, it does not waver with events, it does not diminish over time. My love and power remain the same as in the beginning, and that same power is now working to bring your life into fullness. If I have promised that you will overcome, then no force can prevent it. If I have declared that the door will open, then no one has the authority to shut it. If I have ordained that you will be lifted up, then even the schemes of darkness will only serve as the platform from which you rise higher. Look back over the years and see, even when you strayed, I pulled you back. Even when discouragement weighed you down, I lifted you up. And even when you thought it was the end, I opened a way no one expected. This was never to make you proud, but so you would know that it is I who has been writing and is still writing the story of your life. And now I am preparing to close one chapter and open another more glorious than before. My child, do not worry about your shortcomings, for my grace is sufficient for you. Do not be afraid of accusations, for I am the one who defends you. Do not let the painful memories of the past imprison you any longer, for I have washed away every trace of sin with the very blood of the Lamb. You are called righteous, not because of your works, but because of the perfect sacrifice of the Savior. Therefore lift up your head and walk with confidence, for there is now no condemnation for you. You belong to me, and no power can change that truth. My child, understand this: I am bringing you from a place of trial into a place of glory. The days you sowed in tears will become a harvest of joyful songs. The tears that once fell silently in the night will turn into a public testimony before many. The weakness that once brought you shame will now stand as a witness to my strength. And in that very transformation, my name will be exalted. But I also want to remind you, do not let your heart be distracted by the noise of the world. Do not let fleeting lights overshadow the true glory. Do not allow human praise to make you forget the one who gave every victory. Keep your eyes fixed on me, the author and the finisher of your faith. Remember, it is only in me that you will truly find meaning. If you are separated from me, no matter what successes you achieve, your heart will still remain empty. But if you abide in me, even as you walk quietly and unnoticed, you will still taste the fullness that the world can never give. My beloved child, hold firmly to this truth. I do not only desire to give you life, but life in abundance. I do not only want to bring you out of pain, but to place you in a place of joy. I do not only seek to rescue you from destruction, but to make you a channel of blessing to many. I desire to use you as a living testimony that I am the Eternal One, that I am still at work, and that my love never fades. Therefore, walk with courage. Seize the opportunity that is opening before you. Trust that I have gone ahead to prepare the way, that I come behind to shield you, and that I walk beside you to accompany you. You will not lose your way, for my light guides you. You will not fall, for my hand upholds you. You will not fail, for victory has been appointed to you before the foundations of the world. And when you come to the end of this journey, you will not only see my promises fulfilled, but you will see your own heart transformed to reflect me more than ever before. So be strong in heart. This is not merely an ending, but the beginning of something greater. This is not only the answer to your prayer, but a testimony for generations who are watching your life. This is not only a shift in circumstances, but a transformation in the realm of the Spirit, so that from now on you will walk in the freedom, the joy, and the power I have ordained for you. My dear child, now I want you to see a greater vision, one that goes beyond the limits of what the natural eyes can see. The years gone by were not merely a series of trials, but each one a foundation stone to build a firm dwelling for your soul. The tears were not wasted, for they became water to nourish the seed of faith within you. The days of loneliness were not meaningless, for they deepened the intimacy between you and me. Every step, though trembling at times, has led you to this very moment, the moment when I affirm that you have not only endured, but have been transformed to enter into the fullness of life. I want you to realize that the wholeness I have prepared is not found merely in the changing of outward circumstances, but first in the renewing of your inner being. When I touch your soul, bitterness melts into sweetness. Doubt is replaced with faith, and fear gives way to peace. When you carry my peace within, no storm can sweep you away. When you hold tightly to my promise, no scheme of the enemy can shake that foundation. This inner transformation will be the key for you to sustain lasting victory, not just in a fleeting moment, but throughout the rest of your journey. My child, remember this. I am the Lord your God, the God of completion. I do not promise and then abandon. I do not begin and then stop. I do not plant a word and then forget it. Everything I have spoken will be fulfilled at its appointed time. If I have said that you will see redemption, then you will see it. If I have declared that your family will be restored, then I will bring it to pass. If I have promised that the days ahead will shine brighter than those behind, then the dawn will surely break forth. Delay is not forgetfulness, but preparation, so that all things may unfold perfectly and at the right moment. My child, let the past remain behind you. Do not allow it to govern your present steps, nor cloud your hope for the future. The wounds, the failures, the rejections, and the words spoken against you no longer have the power to define who you are. Your identity is not written by human hands, but by mine. And in that book I have inscribed, you are more than a conqueror. You are deeply loved. You are a chosen vessel to reflect my glory. Open your heart to receive the new door I am setting before you. It is not merely a change in work, relationships, or circumstances, but the dawn of a new season where you will walk with the deeper awareness that I am always with you. You will see the companions I send to journey alongside you, the resources I provide to strengthen you, and the doors I open that no one can shut. All these are not the product of chance, but the precise orchestration of my eternal plan. Beloved one, prepare your heart to embrace abundance. Not abundance measured only in material things, but first in grace, in peace, and in joy. Let gratitude flow from you, for gratitude will keep you from pride and remind you that all good things come from me. Live with an open heart, because I do not intend for blessings to stop with you, but to flow through you to many others. I want you to be a living testimony, so that when others look at you, they will know that I am still at work. They will see that nothing is too difficult for me, that I can turn situations around in a moment, that I can bring light into the darkest place. And when they witness the transformation in you, they too will be encouraged to return to the source of life, to seek me, and to experience my love for themselves. Therefore stand firm, my child. For this is not a sorrowful ending, but a triumphant song. This is not a farewell, but a welcome into a new season. This is not a final period, but an open door to a new chapter full of hope. You no longer need to wonder if you can go on, for I have placed within you the strength to endure. You no longer need to fear the future, for I have gone ahead to prepare everything. You no longer need to doubt your worth, for I have declared that you are priceless in my sight. My beloved, hold tightly to this promise as an anchor for your soul. The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever. Do not forsake the work of your hands. Psalm 1:3-8. And remember also, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 2:9-11. This is my eternal commitment, unchanging and steadfast, the foundation upon which you can rest in absolute trust. So let your heart rest in my love. Let your steps move gently in my guidance. And let your voice join with the nations in proclaiming, I am the living God, the one who has, who is, and who will always bring to completion everything I have promised. Then you will not merely witness a new page, but will step into an era of fullness, where all things work together for your good and for the glory of my name. If what you hear today touches your heart, subscribe and turn on the bell, so that we may continue walking together in faith, where God's word lights the path and his love leads you each day. The Lord is with you. Amen.